What is going on, everyone? This is JC and I play video games, and today we are playing a little bit of Overwatch here on the PlayStation 4, trying to fight McCree there. And we're playing as the Brazilian native Lucio. Now Lucio is a character that I didn't really understand. I didn't really like him. I didn't know how to use him, to his maximum potential. I couldn't understand if he was kind of an offensive character, if he was a defensive character, and come to find out he's sort of kind of a little bit of both. Just depending on what kind of situation you're in, you can either push up with your team and fight, or you can kind of lay back, heal your teammates, bring your teammates closer to the objective quicker. And turns out he's kind of like a mid-tier support character. Mercy being the best healer among the support roles, and Zenyatta probably being the highest on attack and whatnot. So hopefully here what we are going to try to do is kind of figure out a way for people to use Lucio effectively. And again, like I'm saying, I'm not some kind of Lucio expert. I'm not some kind of video game expert. It's just, if you're kind of like me and you don't really know how to use him, when to use him, how to use him effectively and whatnot, hopefully this will be sort of kind of like a guide to help you guys and girls out. So first of all, just kind of give some base stats around Lucio. He has got 200 base health, and his first little, your main weapon here is called the Sonic Amplifier. And what the Sonic Amplifier is of course his little sound gun that you see here. And that has a max ammo capacity of 20. It shoots 4 sound projectiles at 16 damage per hit. The fire rate is 1 second, and the reload time is a little bit over a second. And so, again, my personal opinion on using this thing is to use it in close quarters combat. Because, again, it's kind of like a quarterback in American football, where if it's kind of any kind of distance, you will have to lead your shot, and which will not lead to the most effective damage for Lucio. The next thing is the sound wave ability, which in my case is the L1 ability. Depending on what your controls are, it could differ. But the sound wave, which is the big amplified sound which knocks enemies back, it does 25 damage with a blast back of around 8 meters, and it also uses 4 rounds per use, and the cooldown is 4 seconds. And so this is oddly satisfying to use. Again, this was an ability I thought was a big waste for Lucio, because I just didn't know how to use it. And come to find out, it saved a bunch of games for me, as far as wins and whatnot, and pushing people away from the objective, off the payload, or even off the map. And even pushing people off the map is so satisfying. You skate around and have fun and whatnot, and it's so good. Next is a kind of a big role for Lucio, and that is the crossfade ability, which you're seeing kind of on the screen here, which flip-flops back between healing and the speed boost. Now 95% of the time you're going to use the healing portion of it, because it heals at a radius of 30 meters, and it also gives a speed boost of 30 meters as well. But 95% of the time you're going to be using the healing aspect, because your team's going to take damage from somewhere. And if they're in your vicinity, whether you can physically see them or not, you can heal them. And so the only time I would recommend using the speed boost is, maybe at the beginning of the game to try to get to a control point, or try to get to the payload quicker, or if your team's losing and you just need you got like 2 or 3 teammates with you, just try to push them up closer to the payload to try to secure the win for your team. The next ability is the Amp It Up ability, which restores 40 health per second, or does a 110% speed boost in a 30 meter range. That also lasts for 3 seconds and a cooldown of 12 seconds. And so you can't use this ability all the time, but again, if some of your team is critical, you can heal them up a little bit quicker. And of course, keeping them alive, staying alive, is your main prerogative here as a support role. And also, in case something happens to your team where somebody, they get taken out by an ultimate or whatever, and you need to go back and secure the control point, that's something to use there to get back to it quicker. And lastly is using the sound barrier, which is your ultimate. And what the sound barrier does is it creates a plus 500 barrier, and it's, again, at a 30 meter range. It lasts for 6 seconds, but it quickly diminishes. And so again, this either will make or break your team depending on what happens here. And so, again, it helped our team out here at the end, and luckily we got the W. And so that's all that really matters for Overwatch. But anyways, we're not going to watch the play of the game because it was Torbjorn, and, you've seen those 1,000 times. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, enjoyed kind of this Lucio guide, I guess. But anyways, I hope you all have a lovely day, and we will see you next time.